Hello. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having an awesome Tuesday. I am here with our Tuesday lunch talk. So today's topic is sleep. Now, sleep can be a triggering word, especially for new mamas, right? Or even seasoned mamas. Sleep can sometimes get in the way of many things in our lives. And I've had many people come up to me and say, listen, like I'm doing everything right to try to lose weight. My eating is right on point. I'm exercising in the right way. I'm doing everything I can think of and I'm not losing weight. Why? And sometimes the answer to that question is because they're having poor quality sleep or not enough sleep. Sleep is incredibly important in so many different aspects of our lives. So I want to share some signs with you that might indicate that sleep is affecting or derailing even your weight loss efforts. So you might be putting in tons and tons of work and doing everything you think you should be doing and neglecting the sleep portion of it. So if this sounds like you, listen up to these 5 signs, okay? Sign number 1 is that your mind is foggy, okay? So if you're not able to concentrate as well, you're not as alert as you feel like you should be, you're a lot more forgetful than you usually are, those are kind of symptoms of a foggy mind, okay? And when we sleep, while we're sleeping, everything that we've learned throughout the day kind of gets cemented into our brains. And if we're not getting enough sleep or we're not getting good quality sleep, that can cause this fogginess of the mind, forgetfulness, poor concentration, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's one sign that that your sleep may not be ideal. Okay. Second sign is that you're unhappy. Okay. When we sleep, we're able to kind of regulate, our hormone production during that sleep time. And if we're not doing that, then, we might be more stressed than usual. We might just be in a bad mood, just in like a low quality mood. And it could actually possibly increase your risk for depression if you're not getting enough or good quality sleep. Okay, so that was sign number 2. Sign number 3 that you may not be getting enough sleep, and that it could be affecting your weight loss, is that you're getting sick a lot. Okay, when we don't get enough sleep, the number of T cells in our body goes down and the amount of inflammation in our body goes up. And inflammation is not a good thing. Okay, we don't want inflammation in our bodies. So if we're not sleeping well and we have more inflammation and fewer T cells, then we're much more vulnerable to getting sick. And this is kind of a big thing. And you may have heard people talking about how important sleep is during this whole pandemic, right? And luckily, but at least at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were all at home and we had nowhere to go, hopefully we were getting more sleep. Okay. Mary Lou says, I'm up 4 or 5 times a night and have to nap during the day. Yeah. And that's very, very common. And I will share some tips to kind of help you with that, getting up throughout the night too, and maybe make it so you don't have to take, as long of a nap during the day. But it's great that you are able to take a nap during the day so that you can give your body that rest time that it needs, even if it's not all at once, at night. Another sign, so that was sign number 3, that you get sick more often. Sign number 4 is that your workouts feel too hard. So if you used to get good sleep and you haven't been getting as good of sleep, and then you've been noticing your workouts being harder, that is definitely a sign, right? When we sleep, that's the time our body uses to kind of recover from any workout that we have done. And if we're not getting into that good, deep sleep in order to recover from our workout, yesterday, then our workout today is going to be a lot more challenging. So if you're starting to notice that your workouts are feeling more challenging without you making them harder, so you haven't added any weight, you haven't started running further, if you're doing the same workout and it's feeling harder, then that's a good indication that your sleep may be to blame for that. Okay. And then finally, poor sleep is linked to fat storage. Okay. And I think most of us can agree that the last thing that we want to store in our bodies is excess fat. Poor sleep can disrupt the regulation of your appetite. So you're not able to regulate your feelings of hunger as well if you haven't had good quality sleep. Poor sleep or not enough sleep can cause you to feel hungrier. Okay. And that then can lead to an increased calorie intake, which then can increase your body fat. And the kicker is that excess body fat also reduces sleep quality. So it's kind of like a 1-2 punch. Like, okay, I have excess body fat, so I can't sleep well, which could potentially cause me to increase my body fat even more and impact my sleep even more. And it's a vicious like snowball effect, right? So what can we do about it? If any of those 5 things sound like you're struggling with your weight, your workouts feel too hard, you're getting sick a lot, you aren't in a good mood, and your brain feels foggy. If any of those sound like you, or if a bunch of them sound like you, then let's talk about what we can do to get a good night's sleep. So I'm sure you've read or heard people talking about setting up a nighttime routine to get yourself ready for bed. And actually, that's a great thing to do, and we'll talk about a nighttime routine, but it's also important to start your morning off right, okay? So it sounds silly, but your path to better quality sleep actually starts in the morning, okay? So making sure that you wake up at the right time, it's much better, and I'm sure you've all run into this, it's much easier to wake up from a light sleep cycle than it is, when you're in deep sleep, right? When you get woken up during a dream, that's like the worst way to wake up because you just feel so foggy and groggy. So there are apps, and like the Apple Watch has like a sleep thing on it, and Fitbits I think do too, that can kind of give you an idea of the best time to wake up based on what time you go to sleep. And ideally, we want to aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Okay, that would be the ideal. Now, if you're way below that, don't worry. Okay, you don't have to all of a sudden try adding, if you're at 5 hours of sleep, you don't have to try adding 2 hours of sleep all at once. Go slowly. Try adding, 30 minutes at a time. Even 30 extra minutes of sleep can really help. Okay. So, another thing is, so waking up at the right time, and then also just get moving right away, right? Hitting the snooze is not going to help you. Okay. It's just going to make it worse. So, and I know not everybody is like this, but it is actually most beneficial to get right out of bed. Okay, as soon as your alarm wakes you up, or as soon as you wake up on your own, get out of bed right away. Okay, get moving right away, okay? Because it will speed up that waking process. Whereas if you keep hitting snooze, then you're kind of like going back and forth, back and forth. And that time that you're snoozing isn't quality sleep. So it's really not helping you at all. So try to get away from that snooze button if possible. Now, sunshine, sunlight is definitely a great thing to help you. So, get that melatonin in your body working the way it's supposed to be working, right? So if possible, if you have time in the morning, go out for a walk, get some sunshine. Even if it's cloudy, you're still going to get some sunshine. You're still going to get some vitamin D. You're still going to get that melatonin going. If you live in an area where it's too cold to go out for walks or to get, sunshine, they have, light therapy boxes. And in fact, I have one that I use during the winter. And essentially you just like turn it on and it, you just have it shining at your face so that it can shine into your eyes, but you're not looking right at it. And that kind of gives you the same, things happening to your body as if you were outside. So not exactly the same because you're not getting the fresh air, but at least it's something you can do if you do live somewhere where it's dark a lot or it's cold a lot. Those light boxes can help. And if you are interested in knowing about which one I have, I can send you the link, so just let me know. Also, be careful with your caffeine intake. I need my coffee in the morning, so I'm not saying don't drink caffeine, but just try to stop drinking caffeine, at least, 6-7 hours before bedtime. A lot of people say, try to stop drinking, don't drink any caffeine after 2 p.m., which is the rule that I typically follow. And, everybody's different. Some people can have caffeine right before bed and fall asleep no problem. Other people, it will take them hours to fall asleep if they have caffeine too late. So, listen to your body. Your body knows, will tell you what works best for you. Same thing with, alcohol intake, more than 2, drinks in the evenings can really disrupt your sleep and keep you from getting into a deep sleep. So, you may find that you fall asleep quickly if you've had a couple of drinks, but oftentimes you don't stay asleep. And so you're not getting good quality sleep when, if you have alcohol. Exercise is also beneficial to your sleep quality. The only caveat is not everybody can exercise right before bed, especially if it's like a high intensity interval training type exercise. Again, try it out, and see how you sleep after that. Some people, like I can exercise right before bed and be fine. Other people, are better, afternoon or early evening or morning exercisers. But exercise does help normalize your inner body clock, okay? Let's see, limit the amount of fluids so that you're not waking up to use the bathroom all the time during the night. That's one of my biggest issues because, water is so important. So I'm trying to drink a lot of water and then I'm waking up all night to go to the bathroom. So eventually, your body gets used to it and I find a way to kind of stop, drinking my water by like 7 p.m. and it helps a bit. But, again, we're all different. So some people can have, can drink their water all the way up, until bedtime and sleep fine and not wake up to use the restroom. Another thing, a lot of us are under a lot of stress for various reasons. Being a mom is stressful. We might also have a stressful career, family stuff going on, whatever it might be. And a lot of times that stress keeps us awake at night and doesn't allow us to fall asleep quickly. So a couple of things that I have done that have helped a lot in that area for me, because that used to be me big time. Okay. So number one, I would write down on paper whatever it is I'm thinking about that's kind of bothering me, that's kind of like stuck in my head. Because a lot of times it has to do with what's happening the next day, and I'm worrying about it, or I'm worrying that I'll forget something. So I just make sure I get it out on paper. So keep some paper on your bedside table, and any thoughts that are kind of like constantly jumbling around in your head when you're trying to fall asleep, just write them down. Okay, and they'll be there for you in the morning. Another thing that has worked for me is to meditate before bed. That's been a huge one that has helped me my falling asleep like unbelievably. One of my favorite meditations to do right before bed is called Yoga Nidra, Nidra, and you can just Google it. I use a meditation app called Insight Timer, and it has thousands and thousands of free meditations on there. But a Yoga Nidra one is just a great way, especially if you find your mind is racing. It's a great way to stop that racing mind, because it leads you through this stream of consciousness of thinking about, different body parts. So your brain stops thinking about all of those things that are stressing it out and is just thinking about, okay, my right hand thumb, my right hand first finger, and it just goes through your whole body, and it's so relaxing. And a lot of times I fall asleep before the meditation is even over. Another thing, and Yoga Nidra meditations are really helpful also if you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep because of your racing mind. So a lot of this stuff works for both, when you're trying to fall asleep, or if you fall asleep fine, but you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind is racing. A breathing technique called 4-7-8 is another one that has helped me a lot. And it's super simple. You inhale for the count of 4, and then you hold your breath for the count of 7, and then you exhale for a count of 8. And you do that like 8 times through. It takes like 2 minutes. And again, it forces your mind to think about something else. The deep breaths work on your parasympathetic nervous system, so they start calming you down. Again, it seems silly. Like I remember like years ago, my dad sent me like an email about it or something, and I was like, what? That would never work. It's pretty crazy how well it works. A lot of times I will be asleep within just a few minutes after finishing that 4-7-8 breathing. And then the last thing that has worked really well for me for those crazy thoughts going on is if I don't want to get up and write stuff down. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have thoughts racing through my head, the last thing I want to do is turn on the light and write down on my paper like what's bothering me. So what I have done instead is I imagine a bucket by my bedroom door, okay, or a basket or some sort of container. You can make it look like whatever you want it to look like. And I imagine putting all of my thoughts into that container, okay? Everything that's kind of like swirling around in my head, keeping me awake, I put those thoughts into the container, and then I put a lid on the container. And those thoughts are there waiting for me for the morning, okay? So I don't have to worry about them anymore tonight. I can worry about them in the morning, and I can take that lid off in the morning and deal with them when I'm supposed to be dealing with them, when I'm actually awake, right? So that I'm not interrupting my sleep. So that's another one that has, again, sounds kind of silly, like how could that actually work? But it's amazing the power of our mind, okay? So so those are the main things that I use to either help myself fall asleep or get myself to fall back asleep after waking up in the middle of the night and if my mind is racing. Other things are, taking a warm shower, a warm bath right before bed, because that kind of gets your body temperature elevated, and then it starts coming down, and that causes you to relax. Turn off your electronics at least 30 minutes before you go to bed, okay, because the blue light coming from your phone or your iPad or your TV can disrupt the production of melatonin, and we need melatonin for our sleep, okay? You could do some like bedtime yoga before bed too, to relax yourself, and just create a relaxing sleep area, right? Whatever you need, like if you do need a sound machine to drown out noises from outside, make sure, you know, your pillow is one that you like and that feels good, and that you're warm enough but not too warm. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, but just try to make it as relaxing as possible. And make your room as dark as possible too. That will help big time as well. So hopefully some of these tips will resonate with you. And if they do, please let me know, like write them in the comments. Let me know if you're gonna try anything, like the Yoga Nidra or the bucket of thoughts or the 4-7-8 breathing, or, you know, turning off your electronics. Because really, truly, your sleep, I mean, we spend about a third of our day sleeping, a third of our life sleeping, and it has a big impact on our health and our well-being. And if you are trying to lose weight and you feel like you're doing everything right and you're just not able to lose weight, you're not seeing any results, it may have to do with your sleep, especially if you answered yes to any of those signs, those 5 signs that I mentioned earlier. About poor sleep. Okay, so hopefully you took something away from today and you have an awesome night's sleep tonight. And let me know if you try anything. And last but not least, you may have heard that I'll be doing another round of the 3-day weight loss kickstart beginning June 6th. It's June 6th through 8th, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It is free, and essentially each of those days I will be going live sharing with you the steps that my clients take to help them lose weight. So I will share with you the main things to focus on, because I know there's information overload when it comes to weight loss. Okay, and a lot of times it's so confusing knowing what to do. So I will share with you the 3 main things that you should be focusing on in order to help you lose weight. So if you want the link to that, just drop a comment and I will send you the sign up link. Again, it's free. And even if you can't make it live, I'll be going live at 11 a.m. on each of those days. But if you sign up and you can't make it live, you will still get the replay of each day. So, and there'll be prizes. I give away gift cards during each of the live streams. So if you needed any other incentive to show up other than your health, then there are prizes. So have a great night's sleep, and I will talk to you guys next Tuesday.